You know, it really seems like the year 2023 is the year that, I guess, karma, you could say, has caught up with Donald Trump. And while he's had a little bit of, things break his way down in South Florida with Judge Eileen Cannon overseeing the documents case, in virtually every other, civil and criminal suit and indictment that Trump is facing, things have not gone well for him at all. And things actually got so much worse for him this week when Judge Tanya Chutkan, of all people, was assigned to oversee a lawsuit against Donald Trump brought by the NAACP, alleging that Donald Trump tried to disenfranchise black voters with his attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Judge Tanya Chutkan, as I'm sure everybody watching this is aware, hasn't been too kind to Donald Trump ever since she was assigned his case of him also trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. And now she has had the misfortune for her, and definitely misfortune for Donald Trump, of being the one drawn to oversee this lawsuit. But it may not be as bad for Donald Trump as you think. I support what the NAACP is trying to do with this lawsuit. But from a purely legal, take politics out of it standpoint, this is not a good lawsuit at all. I'm surprised it's been allowed to go forward. And here's why. In any lawsuit where you're trying to say that, party X did thing Y, you have to have evidence that they did this thing you're accusing them of, right? He ran into me because he ran a stop sign. That's easy to prove in a lawsuit. This company lied about the dangers of their pharmaceutical and 100,000 people died. That's a little more difficult to prove because you've got to go through the documents and prove that they knew the dangers existed but pushed the drug anyway. In this lawsuit, the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund is alleging that Donald Trump's attempts to overturn the election results disenfranchised or were an attempt to disenfranchise black voters. I don't know how you prove that in court. You would have to have a document, a text message, multiple witnesses that say that Donald Trump or a member of his inner circle said, we've got to get rid of the black votes. Lacking that, you don't have a case. So again, I support what they're doing. I just don't think this is the best way to do it. I think this lawsuit, when you try to narrow it down to say that, his election attempts were actually an attempt to disenfranchise voters of color, I think you're getting into the weeds a little bit, into an area where it's kind of obvious he did it, but at the same time, you still can't prove that that was his motivation to do it. See what I'm saying? Like, we can all think that, yeah, Trump clearly did that. But can you prove it to a jury that that is why he did it? No, you can't. I work at a law firm, one of the most successful law firms in the country. I've actually talked to many of our lawyers in this firm who are very progressive, and they agree, this lawsuit is a non-starter, unfortunately. It's just, you're making a claim you likely will not be able to prove. If you can prove it, wonderful. That would be great, and you will win. But proving it is a lot harder than just, filing the lawsuit. But this might be an opportunity for Chutkan, right? If Chutkan has this lawsuit now and actually rules in Trump's favor, then that would be a good indication to everybody in this country that might be on the fence, being like, oh, okay, so she's not totally in the tank against Donald Trump. So maybe there's a silver lining with that. We won't know until the trial starts. I do wish the NAACP nothing but the best on this. Just to me, legally speaking, this doesn't seem like something you'll be able to prove in court. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.